Good morning, guys. Hey, it's Anthony with the Wrenched Out Garage. It is your garage news. So grab your coffee, hit subscribe, sit back, relax, and let's dive into today's topic. So today we're going to be talking about electric cars versus the good old gas cars. Now, a huge controversy that's been spooling up over the last 5 to 10 years with guys like Tesla, what Chevy has tried to do, what Honda's tried to do, and everybody else is electric cars, right? And with that, Tesla has done some amazing things in the electric car space. There's a lot of other companies. I'm not going to dive into all of those. But there are supercars now being made with electric motors, which is super crazy, but super cool in that world. As technology evolves, they're only going to more or less use smaller batteries and be able to yield higher charges. And I think that for all intents and purposes, electric cars aren't going anywhere with the exception of getting bigger through time. Now, that obviously leaves a large space for what is going to happen to the combustion engine, what's going to happen to your V8s, and so forth and so on. So first and foremost, I'm not going to sit here and argue both sides. I love combustion engines. I love my Camaro that has a 6.2 liter in it. I absolutely do. I love my Hemi in my truck. I love my freaking V-Rod. I love my Sportster. No, for me personally, I'm not going electric until maybe 20 years from now when I have to. But right now, I absolutely love that stuff. I love it, because it's a legacy thing, man. I grew up around it. I love automotive. I love the muscle car era all the way through. I love old motorcycles, love new motorcycles. Motorcycles haven't quite caught on like the Tesla and like some of these other companies with the cars. And for me personally, I don't want to drive an electric motorcycle. I love the sound my V-Rod makes. I love the sound my Sportster makes. I love the sound that a lot of other guys' bikes make, both Cruiser and, like a nice Ducati and the Scramblers and so much, so much more. Not only that, I like the way the combustion engine, you build that power up and then you're going, right? My Camaro's manual, I love that as well. I love the motorcycle sitting there banging gears and building that stuff up. Now, how relevant is it going to be in the next decade? I don't know. Part of me strongly believes that there will always be a place for the combustion engine, especially because of gearheads like me, like you, if you're watching this, and you're taking it apart, you're tuning it up, you're building it, you're adding exhaust, headers, intake, superchargers, turbos, blah, 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 blah. You can go on forever. But I do think that the electric car world is going to continue to carve its space into the automotive space globally. It's going to continue because it's a more sustainable energy source. As that energy source gets refined and better, and combustion engines are still doing the same thing, with the multi-valve displacements, with a lot of new parameters in the ECUs and your computers and all of those things. It's obviously getting you better gas mileage. You have cylinders that shut off, and we're also going to see that. Now, I do think that as the electric motor continues to build, it's extremely important for these companies to get more horsepower, more torque, and most importantly, more miles to the gallon. Now, how they do that, obviously, a lot of these companies are diving into better aerodynamics, better suspension, better weights, and then obviously, like the stuff I already said, better electronics and better ways to deactivate cylinders and so forth and so on. So I'm hoping that with them continuing to pursue those things, it will obviously prolong or add a lot more longevity to the lives of what we're currently seeing with these gasoline motors versus the electric motors. Now, electric motors, super cool. A Tesla can go 0 to 60 super fast, 0 to 100 even faster. Yes, most of us understand that, you've got instantaneous power into a essentially like a generator box. It's like a toy car, right? To where you push it and there's no, the transmission isn't dictating how much, what gears you're in and so forth and so on, hooked to this motor that has to build up RPMs. All these explosions are happening versus electrical current just going to this motor and this motor just turning, right? So it's not doing all of those things. It's less parts. It's not an older system. And there's a lot of technologies around it, so forth and so on. I'm not going to sit here and break down those differences. I just thought it was a really interesting topic. It's been something that I've been thinking about a lot lately as I've seen more Teslas on the road. I watched a couple of videos on some of these supercars and hypercars that are either part electronic or fully electronic that are doing incredible things. And then the other side of me, of course, I love my Camaro. I love what Chevy's doing with the Corvette. I love what Ford is doing with the Raptor. And to think, in my mind, I also love what Harley Davidson's doing with their new lineup. I did a video on their lineup. I think it's incredible to think that, this could all be electronic. It kind of, for me personally, it kind of makes me feel like it's not who they are. And there's a lot of reasons why. I'm not going to go into those reasons. So I'm still super excited for that stuff. But part of me is also excited to see what happens with those technologies, and what does 5 years look like electronic versus the standard combustion engine? What is 10 years? What is 20 years? Obviously, we're going to have to live through and see, because if you go back the 2000s, we were supposed to be flying around in cars. If you look back 20 years, we were supposed to be doing all these crazy things and we didn't quite get there. But we will have to see what happens. What do you guys think, electric versus gas? And I don't want electric sucks or gas sucks. I want your true opinion. Where do you see both of these? As there's obviously a clear fork in the road. I mean, that's direct competition for each other. But where do you see the next 5-10 years? Drop a comment down below. I'm interested to get your take on electric versus combustion, motorcycles, cars, and everything else. That pretty much wraps up this episode. I know it's kind of a rant episode, but I think it's relevant news. And it's not new news, it's ever evolving news, and we'll be touching on the subject in a lot of future episodes as well. Drop a comment. Thank you guys for tuning in, and don't forget, hit subscribe. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere else. If you guys are out riding or driving, do it safely, and we'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, also don't forget, check out one of these videos. Hit that subscribe button up in the corner. We appreciate you guys checking this out. Garage news every Monday. We have garage talks, new installs coming to all the vehicles, and a bunch of new exciting projects coming here in 2019.